My name is Alicia Shapiro with AInews.com, and welcome to another episode of our Driving Tomorrow Conversations with Industry Leaders, where we explore the latest developments and newest innovations in the world of artificial intelligence. Today, I'm excited to be speaking with Hardik Jagda, founder and CEO of ProximityWorks, a global AI powerhouse driving innovation across sports, media, and entertainment. Hardik is an engineer, entrepreneur, and investor whose expertise lies in applying AI to the sports industry, from delivering ROI to teams and leagues, to tackling the real world challenges of implementing new technologies, to making platforms like Metavision scalable and accessible. In today's interview, we'll explore how AI is reshaping sports technology from ROI to real world adoption challenges. And we'll also take a closer look at the innovations driving Proximity's growing suite of products, as well as the important work that Hardik is leading through the Proximity Foundation, which is focused on transforming education for underprivileged women and children. So I really thank you for joining us today, Hardik.
Thank you for having me, Alicia. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad to have you here. So let's start with the big picture. Can you tell
Yeah.
us about Proximity Works and what gap did you see in the industry that inspired you to build the company? And how has that vision evolved over the past 6 years?
Yeah. I grew up in a lower middle class family in Mumbai. My first job as a software engineer paid me about $150 a month.
Oh,
And coding became my ticket to change my life. Fast forward a few years, I found myself in rooms with the largest media platforms in the world. And what I saw was surprising. So by 2019, live sports streaming was exploding. Billions of hours were being watched, but platforms that were doing the live streaming, they were cracking under the pressure. So
mm,
video would buffer, ad revenue would slip, and fans would drop off. So one of the first projects that I took on was a complete revamp of a global cricket platform, including its ad tech layer, which is the main revenue driver for most platforms. And in 4 months, we ended up cutting page load times in half. We doubled the performance and we unlocked new ad revenue streams that
wow.
entirely changed the economics of the platform. So that was the moment I realized that the industry just doesn't just need coders. It needed partners who could take chaos and engineer clarity. So that's why I built Proximity. So we started with the performance engineering in the beginning, rewriting platforms so they could handle record traffic during these peak live events. And then as streaming scaled globally, we helped launch these live sports platforms into dozens of global markets and across every device that you can imagine back from 2019. So from low cost feature phones to set-top boxes to high-end smart TVs, Apple TVs, and everything, like all the platforms you can imagine. And for the last 2 years, we've been layering AI on top of that foundation, not just making things faster, but making them smarter, more personalized, and revenue driven. So I guess Proximity began as a way to solve urgent problems, but has grown into a global AI partner, shaping how sports and media companies innovate at scale using AI.
I think that's so fascinating because there's a lot of buzz around AI in sports, from player performance to fan engagement. And from your perspective, what are the biggest real world challenges that teams and leagues face when trying to implement new technology like AI?
I think the hardest part is in the technology. What I have noticed in the past 6 years of working in the space is it's mainly culture and adoption. Picture a league executive today, right? They hear about AI everywhere, but when
Yeah.
they look at their own systems, they see 20-year-old databases, manual workflows, and teams already stretched too thin. So no one wants to gamble millions on a shiny demo that can't survive game day.
Right.
So the reality is that culture and legacy systems are the real bottlenecks, I feel. And AI doesn't fail because the models don't work. It fails because it never makes it into the Monday morning workflow.
Mm.
And that's why we push clients to do 6-week pilots. So we pick one workflow with them, maybe highlight clipping, maybe ad personalization. We run a fast experiment, no committees, no 2-year roadmaps, just test, measure. And yeah, that's been our philosophy. I feel that the winners in sports tech aren't the ones with the biggest budgets, but
Mhm.
the ones willing to experiment quickly and make AI as muscle memory before their competitors do.
I love that. How are the fans accepting AI? Are they seeing the AI? Do they know it's AI?
Yeah. Everywhere, it depends on what tool you're talking about. We've helped launch multilingual commentary engines for global sports platforms. So there are fans of American sports all over the world, but not everybody speaks English. And
Right.
when you want to connect with fans on a local level and you're trying to launch in a new country or region, you need to be able to speak their language. And yeah, so we help generate commentary on the fly using AI in multiple local languages, which has helped fans really connect with the sports, connect with the athletes. And it's been a game changer for the people that we work with. Yeah.
I think it would be fascinating as a super fan to follow your favorite players or whatever, and then having AI help with that in some way. That's a cool idea too.
Yeah, that's part of the problems I'm trying to solve right now. I think the future is all about personalization,
Yes.
and fans expect everything in bite-sized forms in almost instantly and cater to what they really like, tailor to their interests. I
Hmm.
think TikTok did a great job of starting the wave of interest-based algorithms and where social media eventually moved towards as well. So even Instagram started doing that eventually on the feed, where you would not see the content from necessarily the people that you follow, but
Hmm.
the kind of content that you repeatedly like and engage with.
Yeah, that's right up our alley there with
Yeah.
personalized AIs
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
And you've spoken about the ROI that you're being able to deliver to sports organizations with AI. Can you share an example of how proximity works has helped a team or league or athlete scale that
Yeah.
content production or improve performance in measurable ways?
Yeah, we have one story I'd love to tell. Starts with the content team of one of our client companies pulling all-nighters. And these are content and marketing teams that who would, after every major game night, pretty much every week, they'd spend 6 hours timestamping various key moments in the game, cutting highlights, synchronizing commentary, building thumbnails, and pushing content across a dozen platforms, like short
Mhm.
form content across a dozen platforms. And by the time clips were live, half the fans were already asleep.
Oh,
So yeah, that's where Metavision was born, our own proprietary product. It's our AI content engine that allowed them to flip the process. So the biggest part of the entire process is actually going through the entire game clip, which is
mhm.
usually 4 to 5 hours. And what Metavision does is it watches the full game in real time while the game is happening. It detects key moments, it tags them, it auto packages them into short form clips with captions and thumbnails. And suddenly, what used to take 6 hours to complete that workflow now took just under 15 minutes. So the same team that would spread late nights could now cover multiple games all at once because now they had more bandwidth to cover this and let Metavision do most of the magic. And I think their content output almost jumped to 5x. And
Wow.
also the fans got highlight reels while the game was still buzzing instead of
Yeah.
the next morning. Yeah.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
huge. I've always been impressed, like when I'm following sports teams, their
Yeah.
social media person or whatever. I'm like, dang, they must be at that game in real time tweeting or something. And maybe they were back in the day, but now with AI, they could probably get this out so much quicker and easier.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
No, it's a very exciting space, exciting times, especially in sports. If you work in AI, I think this is the best time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We touched on Metavision and what it does a little bit, but your proximity is also behind 42px Media. So, for those who may not be familiar, maybe can you break down what Metavision and 42px Media does and maybe how they're different and how the approach of building tools like these, not just cutting edge, but also that they're accessible for clients across all kinds of sports and media and entertainment?
Yeah, we are a group. So Proximity Works is a group of five AI native technology companies, under which Metavision falls under our product company. 42px Media is our AI powered storytelling company, wherein we do media production for sports. And Proximity Tech, the main arm of the company, started as a niche CTO consulting arm for helping CTO offices scale their products globally. So that's the initial part where I spoke about performance and scale engineering. And for the past 2 years, we've been the key innovation partners for most of these CTO offices.
Mm.
Similarly, so all the companies that were started in the Proximity Works group were started with the main reason to provide value to all the sports media, entertainment, and finance customers that we work with along their entire life cycle. So it could
Mhm.
be in the early stages, it could be in the scaling stages, it could be in the post-production side of things, it could be automating some of the backend processes. All of these companies were born out of a need for solving a critical problem in their entire life cycle of production process. And AI is at the core of pretty much everything we do, the design beat, engineering beat, media production.
Nice. I love that. That's amazing. And your work, though, extends a little bit beyond AI and business. You've also launched the Proximity Foundation, which is focused on transforming education for underprivileged women and children. Can you share a little bit about what inspired this initiative and how you see technology and education coming together to unlock opportunities for the next generation?
Yeah, I'll take you back to Mumbai, right? I'm the son in a lower middle class family, like I said, and coding was my escape route. I turned a $150 a month job into the chance to build companies and work globally. But I also saw how many bright kids around me never got the chance, especially young women and children from at-risk and underprivileged communities. So
Mhm.
that's why I started Proximity Foundation. Giving back was inculcated very early in my life. Even when I was earning 150 a month, my mom had encouraged me to start putting a piece of that paycheck aside to start giving back at that age. And I've not stopped since. But last year, I was fortunate enough to finally start my foundation, which is Proximity Foundation. And our mission is to break these cycles of poverty by teaching underprivileged women and children real tech skills, which is coding, design, AI literacy, not abstract theory, not traditional education, but skills that create careers today. And we are not there with full AI integration yet. We are still working on it, but the vision is to use AI to create AI tutors and personalized learning to scale access. So if a kid in a remote village can learn the same way that I did, but with today's tools, I think we can unlock potential that changes families for generations.
That's just amazing. And I can't believe you were giving back at such a young age. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's so great.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you,
that
Alicia.
it's a part of
The
you, you
credit
know?
goes to my mom for that. Yeah.
Yeah. For someone who might be entering the AI space today, whether
Yeah.
it's engineer, entrepreneur, or maybe sports tech, what advice would you give them about building for impact and longevity?
I think I'd ask them to forget the hype or the fancy generative demos that they see on X and other platforms right now, but start with a boring workflow that is core to the business or the industry that they're in. So when I talk to young engineers or entrepreneurs, I tell them pick one repetitive task that you see every single week happening, which is a repeat process and is core to your business. Perhaps it's editing video or repetitive back office operational task in your company. And then ask, can AI make this 10x faster or smarter? And that's your first pilot. You don't need to over-engineer things.
Hmm.
And the other advice I give is that you need to build for outcomes and not for applause. And a lot of the reasons why most engineers don't want to solve those boring problems is because it's not very shiny and not something which they would get a lot of applause for. And but the reality is that 95% of in-house AI pilots fail because they never make it out of demo decks or they fail at the integration stage because they didn't begin with the right mindset in the beginning itself. And so if your work doesn't save time, if it doesn't drive revenue or doesn't make someone's job easier, then it won't last. And the other thing is, I think people need to be multidisciplinary in today's AI age for sure. The best AI builders aren't just coders. They are probably part psychologists, part designers, and part strategists. And I guess the future belongs to teams who can think across these disciplines.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
such great advice. I think that's spot on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Looking ahead, where do you see AI in sports and entertainment heading, and what do you see as the most exciting opportunities over the next few years?
Hyper personalized fan content for sure. I think I touched upon this earlier. I think the next 2 to 3 years are about making experiences more personal, not
Mhm.
just digital. So every fan will get a custom reel of highlights, stats, commentary in their language tailored to their favorite players. So that is something I'm very excited about. We are pretty much on the frontier and on the cutting edge of it right now with
Yeah.
the customers that we work with. And I think the second big change that we'll see is in athlete growth engines,
Mm.
where rising athletes will use AI to build their brands, even monetize NIL deals, and connect with fans globally. We are
Mhm.
already seeing the early signals here. We are involved in some of the pilots here as well.
That's exciting. I'm always fascinated how AI is going to personalize the experiences. But I don't know. I can't picture it in my head very well.
Yeah, it's the future of AI in sports and entertainment isn't replacing the magic. We are not replacing anything or trying to replace people. It's amplifying it. I think it's about making it more global, more personal, more accessible, and unforgettable.
Yes,
Yeah.
unforgettable. Thank you, Hardik, for sharing your insights on how AI is driving measurable results in sports and media and highlighting the work your foundation is doing to expand access to education. It's just fabulous, and I'm so glad you could join us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Alicia. You were great, by the way. I loved being on the show, and I wish you all the best.
Oh, thank you. And for those who would like to learn more about Proximity Works, you can visit their website at px.works. And for more information on the Proximity Foundation, you can visit proximity.foundation. Keeping you connected to tomorrow. Today, this is Alicia with AInews.com.